Well, this has been a big weekend for demonstrations here in D.C. Later today, there's going to be the Women's March, which has recently been surrounded in controversy after its co-chair has been accused of not denouncing anti-Semitic remarks made by Nation of Islam leader Louis Farrakhan. Well, that led the DNC to pull its support and the planning of the alternate march. Janice Park is live at Pershing Park where the March for All Women will be happening later today. Janice, you spoke to a very passionate organizer this last half hour. What's happening out there now?
Hi, Makia. Yeah, this march starts at 10 a.m., but there has been a lot of controversy surrounding the co-chair of the Women's March, Tamika Mallory, as you said, whether or not she's denouncing anti-Semitic remarks. You may remember back in 2017, the Women's March, they saw huge numbers, at least 500,000 people. They are expecting much smaller numbers this year, and that's why there's also an alternate march planned, the March for All Women, happening right here at Pershing Park at 10 a.m. Now, the Women's March filled the National Mall with hundreds of thousands of people in the past. Now this weekend, a permit shows that organizers are only expecting about 10,000 people. Now in response, the Independent Women's Forum and the Independent Women's Voice will host an alternate rally. This happening from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. And what will this march be about? To stand up for fairness, respect, civility, empathy, and diversity. And we're going to bring in again Inez Stepman and tell me a little bit. I know this is your first year, but what is this march all about? I know we've had the Women's March, and it's been a big event in the past, but what is your march about?
I think we wanted to be a voice for all the women that have been excluded or left out of the Women's March. Even though it's titled Women's March, it doesn't actually represent the great variety of views that American women have. And we know that the Women's March has had the problems you mentioned. The leadership is very radical. It has had ties to Louis Farrakhan, to anti-Semitism and the anti-Semitism that Louis Farrakhan represents. I think that doesn't represent women across this country. Women are, turns out, about a third conservative, a third moderate, a third liberal, and this march is really about a progressive laundry list of far left agenda. And we welcome people from the left, from the center, from the right. We want to have a civil conversation with everybody. If we're going to have a Women's March, it should represent the diversity of views of all women.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Inez. And, you know, their message today is saying that they want to be inclusive to everyone. So the March for All Women, once again, happening from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Here at Pershing Park. Guys, back to you.
All righty. Thank you so much, Janice, for that.